Da sari gari gari sada sari ga ma ga re re gari sada magari sada magari sari ga ma ga re जब दीप जले आना जब शाम ढले आना.
Hello and welcome to The Hindu. This is Srinivas Ramanujam and today we have with us musician singer Abby. Hello, welcome.
Srini, happy to be here, happy to talk to all the viewers of The Hindu.
How did your musical journey start, Abby? Because you grew up in Canada
Right.
and had multicultural influences, sort of to say, in music. And how did Indian music attract you at such a young age?
Do you know how it is? The moment Indian parents move out of India, they're all the more Indian. So for us, growing up in Toronto, my parents were extremely. They insisted that we grew up with a lot of culture, music, dance, and the Indian movies, Bollywood, and Tamil and Malayalam and all that stuff. So I think music was obviously my dad sings very well, so he naturally got me into music when I was a child, and I started learning a little bit. And then I think especially films and all that stuff were like a regular part of our home. That was like our way of keeping in touch with Indian roots and all that stuff. So we used to watch Bollywood movies as a family, Tamil movies, and especially the music at that time, like the 90s music or the 2000s actually.
Right.
That was a big, I loved Rahman sir's music, and I have very fond memories of Padayappa and Satya and Yuva and all these other movies that I grew up with when I was a child. So a lot of these soundtracks really sort of shaped my musical journey. And I think my dad he's very fond of ragas and all that stuff, so he would take some of these songs, like for instance Padayappa I mentioned, and there's Minsarakanna in that movie. So he used to geniusly sort of introduce me to the world of ragas by singing Minsarakanna. It's based on a raga called Vasanta, and then he'd sing another song which is in Vasanta, and now all of a sudden I know that there's a raga called Vasanta that exists and it sounds like this. So I think that's how I got started with my journey.
So from then to actually singing for Indian to right now, your song is doing really well on
Thank you.
music charts and all that. So how did Indian 2 itself happen from that kid to singing to actually singing for a film?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, and quite unconventional in a way, because I grew up over there and we have no connection to the film world, to the entertainment industry, like none whatsoever. My parents are they're away from any sort of there's like the business of the entertainment world. So it was definitely it's been a journey to sort of get into the industry, get to make friends here, make connections. And I think all of that's thanks to social media. The last 4 years is when I started my journey on YouTube, and I started posting videos. And every week relentlessly I've been posting reels and YouTube videos and all that. And I've sort of there's a family of music lovers that I've sort of acquired through this journey. And so in that way I've also made connections with some of the artists that I collaborate with. A lot of them, everyone's through Instagram, we just DM each other, we like each other's work, so we decide, okay, let's collaborate and all that stuff. So similarly, I think Anirudh has seen my work on social media, and his mom is also very, very sweet. She's also seen some of my work, and so they had, I'd met them sometimes, and they said, there's a song, we'll call you, and to Ani's greatness, he did actually for this song. Apparently, the moment he composed it, he said, I think I need to get Abby to sing this, because it has elements of classical music and a little bit of the vibrato style and all. There's a little bit R&B and that slightly Western. So a lot of my influences come together in this song also. Yeah, thanks to him for giving me a gem of a song. I mean, what a breakthrough song to have. All thanks to him,
Right.
and the team at Indian 2.
So because you mentioned influences, do you consider yourself a multi-genre artist in that sense, Abby? Because you have great mastery over classical, Hindustani or Carnatic, but you also have a lot of exposure, and you also dabble in other genres as well. So would you consider, is it fair to say that you are a multi-genre artist?
That's what they say, right? Jack of all, master of none. That's probably what it is. Definitely a master of none. But I just like different styles of music. I consume so much entertainment in general. Like, you know, even with music, like I'm very, very sporadic with my selection of songs and all that stuff. Like I listen to anything that's popular music I absolutely love, but classical at the same time. Sometimes thumris and ghazal and of course like Western classical sometimes. You know, music at the end of the day is just, it's a language on its own. So it's just 12 notes, and you know the way that you arrange it beautifully. If it's done well, it sounds beautiful. So that's how I look at it, and I love R&B music. I love hip hop. So whatever I think sounds good to me, whatever I'm able to sort of justify a little bit, I try to do. That's been the thing. I don't really think too much about it.
You mentioned growing up on, you know, Parepa and those albums and all that. So listening to the entire song is one thing, but then coming into the industry and actually recording a song, seeing if it pitches, you know, if it fits with the hero, if it fits
Yeah.
with the ethos, because filmmaking is a collaborative effort in that sense, right? So
Very true.
a song does not is not just the music composer; it's a singer coming in, it's the
Absolutely.
director giving you an input. So how do you see that process of film music itself?
Like you mentioned, it's a very collaborative process. It's not like I've done a lot of albums, a lot of independent work, and for those projects, you know, the like for if I'm doing a single, I am the one who's spearheading that project. I'm the director of it. I call the shots, and you know, I decide which lyricist to get for this, and what kind of a producer, and what kind of vibe this should have, what kind of a release it should have, the distribution, the time. With film music, obviously there are so many other people involved, and in this song particularly, I mean, Ani was obviously there. Tamare ma'am, such beautiful lyrics, and you know, we had the whole team of, you know, like the other instrumentalists who were there. Shrutika, my co-singer in the song. Then of course you have the producers. We have Shankar sir, who was extremely involved in the song. I mean, I remember I sang all 3 versions of the song in Tamil, Telugu and Hindi.
Yeah.
And he would give us corrections for each of the versions. Like for the lyrics, when the lyricist gave the lyrics, he would actually go through every single line and make sure everything is at the level that he needs. And that's why his music is, you know, the music from his films are always at that level. So he's very, very involved, and Kamal sir, of course, and you know, there's so many other people, you know, and the label is also involved. So I think it's a very, like you said, it's a collaborative process. There's different stages of, like, you know, okay, maybe this line we can do it this way, perhaps that'll suit the film better, and all that stuff. That's also there, and also the distribution of it is much more different. You know, it's the actor is the visual presence in the song, and you know, the audio
Right.
is ours, and all that kind of a thing. So I think it's a very unique process. Film music in India is you know, like a category on its own. It's a style of music on its own, and there's so much love for it. I mean, look at the kind of love Needorpam has received. It's incredible. So I'm very, very excited. This is one of my first film projects that I'm singing for. I'm extremely excited to do many, many more.
Right, right. On that note, I'd like to take you back to the 73 Ragas video that you did, which sort of went viral at that point of time, right? Where you explored many ragas within a short period of time.
That's right.
How did that idea come about, and more importantly, how do you think that kind of a concept has taken Indian classical music to a whole new generation who might not particularly engage with it so frequently?
First part of your question, 73 Ragas, I think the idea was just, at that time, 73 Questions with Vogue, that was a big thing. It was trending on YouTube. So some comedians were making parodies of it. You know, they would make it into a funny 73 Questions segment. So just one random day, I keep getting ideas like this. Like I have, you know, that's a special talent where I think of very strange ideas that, you know, somehow trying to mix music with something else that's been trending and all that stuff. So this one day I just thought, you know, why don't we do something with ragas and there's 73 questions, because not a lot of people do, they don't put Hindustani and Carnatic ragas, like the authentic style, for instance Sri Carnatic and Sri Hindustani, in the same bracket. So I just wanted to sort of, and I've had the fortune of really studying Hindustani and Carnatic both equally, and I love both forms of music. And so I thought, okay, you know what, why don't we take this and make it into a video. Up until that point, I hadn't released a single video. And that was one of my first and my second video actually on my YouTube. So I had just created my YouTube channel. I thought, you know what, I need a good idea to start with a bang and all that stuff. I waited a really long time, and then finally this idea came to me, and I got my friend Karandeep, who's one of my best friends in Toronto. We just shot it. It was so simple, you know, like, I mean, we were kids, this is 4 years ago, but we were just so new to the whole thing and so inexperienced. And we just said, we'll just wing it, we'll just do one take. So we just did one quick take. It was completely live, and we just thought, okay, you know what, we'll see how it goes. We didn't even take a thumbnail photo. Can you imagine? Like, now I have my metrics. I say lighting has to be this way, and I have to release it at this time, and I have to do promotion. At that time, I was naive, and but I think that's what maybe worked. And the next day, I just released it on my YouTube. Didn't send it to anyone. Just randomly uploaded it on a new YouTube channel called Abby View Official. And the next day, I see it's like tens of thousands of views. And then the day after that, it's like hundreds of thousands of views. And then everyone on WhatsApp is watching it. Especially on WhatsApp is where I think it got really viral. And I got a lot of love. I mean, I was in Toronto. Pandemic was just starting at that time. So I got a lot of love from people all over the world, but also from the industry. Like, I remember vividly, people like SPB sir, SP Balasubramanian sir, before he had passed, had seen that video, and he sent me a voice note. He didn't know who I was. He got my number from somewhere, sent me a voice note saying, I just saw this video. It's brilliant. You're a very gifted boy, and all that stuff. So, a lot of blessings, a lot of good wishes from the industry. I think that's when that video sort of put me on the map. I do get a lot of messages from so many people, from parents, from kids, from teenagers saying, I didn't think classical music could be presented in a much more like an easier way, because usually sometimes classical music, as approachable and accessible as it is, it's actually I feel like everyone can enjoy ragas. Rahman sir's music, it's, there's so many of them are raga based and everyone loves it. But the classical kacheri, like the Carnatic kacheri or the Hindustani concert, there's slightly, there's people are a little scared of entering that venue. They think, oh, it's going to be boring. I don't understand any of it.
It's a little overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, for sure. So, I mean, that's the thing. That's a perception. I'd like people to just, give it a try once.
You performed at the Indian 2 audio launch. For somebody who's been shooting a lot of Instagram reels, shooting at home, and to maybe a couple of people watching you and all that, suddenly seeing say 8,000 people watching you, how was that experience?
Because you have these legends of South India right in front of you. Kamal sir, Shankar sir, Anirudh of course, and all of these other all the legends that were there. My parents were also there in the audience. And also the other thing is, I'm presenting my own song. That was like, it was like this beautiful baby that all of us created together. The Indian team, Ani, Tamre ma'am, Shankar sir, Kamal sir, all of us have sort of created this in a way. We're presenting it in front of everyone for the first time. So that was a feeling that it was just, it was a whole different level. Because you perform songs, you perform some of your own hits, multiple times, or someone else's songs you do cover versions and all. But this was a feeling by itself, and all of them sitting and paying so much attention to you, that was incredible. I remember very vividly that when I was performing, all of them, they were giving, like the attention was completely on us. It wasn't as if, like, they had so many other things to do, I'm sure, but it wasn't like, anga pathikalam, okay, what's happening next and all that stuff. That whole 5-minute performance, and it's a long song, it's 5 minutes long, but full attention, and the audience loved it. I had a great time performing.
Looking forward to having you on more audio launches in the future. So, speaking about the future, what are your dreams as a musical artist in the future? Where like you just released a YouTube video which went viral, and then now you're singing a huge song. What dreams do you have for the future?
A lot of these dreams have sort of happened because of my following, my Instagram and YouTube. So I'd like to keep that going for sure. My YouTube, my Instagram, I'd like to keep providing music in form of entertainment through my social media. My dreams specifically, I'd love to sing for other musicians as well, music directors. Rahman sir, I mean, I'm a big fan. You already know that, huge fan. So I'd love to sing for him and because I think the film industry, like I mentioned, it's a very unique thing in India, and there's so much hard work and effort that goes behind a song. In this song, like, I know the kind of work that Ani and his team have put in. It's incredible. The kind of thought and the effort that goes behind every line of Neelorpam and all the other songs. Para, if you hear from Indian 2, incredible song. So I'd love to work for more musicians. For Ani himself, I'd love to sing more songs for him, and for Rahman sir, for Yuvan sir, Harris sir, all of these artists. I would love Santosh sir. I'd love to sing for them. I'd also like to keep my independent music going. I think there's a huge trend in India where I think a lot of people are accepting independent music again. So I'd love to explore that more, and yeah.
Finally, looking forward to the future. I hear that you're also receiving a lot of offers for acting assignments. Is that true? And
Who
is
said that?
something happening on that?
I don't. I keep. I do actually keep receiving some offers for some series or some parts in movies or theater and stuff like that. There are some talks. I mean, there are some people who ask for. A lot of people think I don't know how to speak Tamil, so then they say, "Oh, Tamil therima," and I say, "Of course, nalla pesuven Tamil." So I speak Tamil very fluently. So yeah, I mean, there are a couple of discussions going on for maybe some theater work and some films and all this stuff. But let's see. I mean, music is of course always at the forefront. That is there. That's my focus. That's priority. I love acting. I've done quite a bit of acting in college and all that stuff. So I love it. If there's the right opportunity, I'm open to it for sure. Maga madani da ni da maga ri za ni za maga madani sa da da ni za maga maga ri za ni ni sa da ni maga madani sa ni da. மின்சார பூவே பெண் பூவே மெய் தீண்ட வேண்டும் என்னோடு வாராய் என் ஆசை ஓசை கேளாய். One of my favorite songs. மபனி பாரே மபனி மபனி தரே மாரே நிசானி மபனி நிசா. பொன்னொன்று கண்டேன் பெண்ணங்கே இல்லை ஏனென்று நான் சொல்லலாகுமா ஏனென்று நான் சொல்ல வேண்டுமா. பூ ஒன்று கண்டேன் முகம் காணவில்லை ஏனென்று நான் சொல்லலாகுமா ஏனென்று நான் சொல்ல வேண்டுமா. ரே மகரே ரே நீத பத மகரே ரே மபனி மபனி நிதரே மகரே கரே சா நித மபனி நிசா. மாறா மனமிரண்டும் ஒன்றாய் சேர்ந்ததென்ன தீரா தவிப்புகளும் தானாய் தீர்ந்ததென்ன. That is my new song from Indian Sue Neelorpam, just slightly based on Raga Desh.